teammates. By calling the jam, they hit their hips like this. Okay, so those are two things you want to watch out for. People with stars lapping opposing members of the team, and this means the end of the jam. You'll hear whistles blowing after that point. Everything else, I'll explain as we go along. Okay, so you got that? Okay, great. So our emergency exits are the door you came in. There's a corner door behind Oxford, and there's some doors directly opposite you. Hopefully we won't need to use them, and hopefully we can keep them closed, because I don't know about you, I am freezing. So the best thing to do is cheer and shout and have a good time. And don't forget there's lots of baked goods as well that can keep you warm. We are going to have a raffle. We'll be having the draw just after the game. And there is some booze as a prize, which also may help to keep you warm. And an amazing gingerbread house, which you should all go and see. We have some fantastic merchandise here from Dublin Roller Derby. We have some specific from when Dublin were at tournaments in the United States. They have some from Skater Things from their Halloween bout, and some more fabulous merch as well. And as I mentioned, there's also some delicious baked goods. So do head over there at halftime, get your raffle tickets, and get yourself stocked up on some very tasty items. We're going to be streaming on YouTube today as well, so I'm going to keep my swearing to a minimum. Not that I don't always do that. So if I give shout outs to the people watching at home, that's not you guys, that's the other ones. Okay. If you do take any photographs today, we'd be delighted to see them if you're posting them on social media. Our hashtag is DRD Home. And that's probably most of my news, so I'll put some more Christmas music on, because I know you love it.
The audio is all working. Huh? The audio is all working. I just need to down the volume on my end.
Yay! Number 1789, French Revolution. Number 1893, Kung Fury. Number 1972, B.A. Douglas. Number 22, Rage Against the Machine. Number 24, Celtic Tiger. She's your captain today. Number 36, Stormy Waters. Number 404 is Wolf. And number 56 is Calamity Bane. On your bench for Oxford today, we have Jonathan Pritchard and Kelly Smith. Do you want to do DRD?
Yeah. And our home team playing in black, Dublin Roller Derby, has the following skaters playing today. Number 047, Alana Cadavra. 101, Kira Powell. 11, Flash Dancer. Number 111, Katie Rex. Number 123, Maria Fonslap. Number 22, Grace Balls of Fire. Number 35, Carnage. Number 43, Nasher. Number 44, Special K. Number 49, Pappy Nefrin. 53, RG Bargy. 555, Crash Test Crummy. 630, Miss Fury. And 816, Bliss of Death. And the first jam is already on the way. In black, we have the jammer 047, Alana Cadavra.
And that is Rage Against the Machine, jamming for Oxford, wearing the star in her helmet. First out was, it looks like Alana Cadavra, but she may have picked up a penalty. She is free though, and she's going to try and score some points. Rage Against the Machine spotting that Alana Cadavra was out and calling off the jam before she could score any points. So already you've seen the people with the stars in their hats trying to get out, and you've seen somebody calling off the jam, touching their hands to their hips repeatedly. You haven't seen any points yet, but I'm sure that's going to come soon.
Oh yeah, there's no derby game without any points.
Is that a challenge?
Oh yeah. So we have Iguana Thump in blue, jamming for Oxford.
And 101, Kira Powell for DRD B. So already we can see the blockers are trying to hold back their respective jammers. Kira Powell getting some help from number 35, Carnage, who's picked up a penalty. But Kira Powell is out first. She's picked up lead jammer status. And now the pack, as Kira Powell rejoins to try and pick up some points, picks up some speed. Powell breezes through and picks up 4 points to open the scoring for Dublin Roller Derby.
Okay, EMTs are fine. They're here? Yeah, they just arrived. Like, this was the last time as well. We were 5 minutes before the game. Jesus, how can we do it in January? We're going to be screwed. That sanctions game, they cannot start until January. And the third jam is on the way. Crash Test Crummy for DRD is trying to fight her way through. And Kung Fury for Oxford is pushing on the Dublin wall as much as she can to get out in the front.
So still no lead jammer. Both skaters forced to recycle. Whenever a skater is taken out of play by another skater, she has to re-enter the pack behind that skater. So if you see somebody skating like Billy-O backwards and someone else on the outside skating to follow her, that's what's happening. It's called recycling.
But there we go. There's been a star pass on Dublin's side. RGBG wore the hat for about a third of a lap on the track before the jam was actually called off.
That's right. Meanwhile, Kung Fury did manage to make it through and pick up 4 points for Oxford. The sides, after 3 jams, are level. And what a star pass is that some of those skaters have stripes on their helmet. They are called pivots. They can't score, but the jammer can pass their helmet to them, at which point they become the jammer and can score points. It gets complicated. Sorry.
Now there we have 404 in blue. Wolf is jamming for Oxford. And Flash Dancer number 11 jams for Dublin. Unfortunately, she picks up a penalty and ends up sitting in the box for now.
So now we have what is called a power jam. Wolf is going to have a chance to score points unopposed. So the opposing jammer is in the box. A penalty duration is 30 seconds. So Wolf is going to have that length of time to try and eke out a lead here for Oxford.
You know, I really like announcing with you because I can always learn a new word in English, although I'm here for 9 years. I never really heard the word unopposed, but I really like it. Now there's the jam being called off before Flash Dancer actually can do her initial pass. And we're lining up for the next one.
That's right. So scores currently standing at 8 points to Oxford, 4 points to Dublin Roller Derby B. This is the last game for DRD of the year, but it's not the last game for Oxford because they're going to be back here tomorrow.
All right. Yeah. So there we go. At the moment, Oxford's jammer is sitting in the box for a penalty, while Alana Kradavra is trying to get through the blockers of the Oxford team, and she succeeds. That's another tactic from the teams, that they can actually call off the jam before the other jammer leaves the penalty box to ensure a quick start of the jam for their jammer.
That's right. So that time, Dublin picked up 5 points. The reason for that is that the Oxford jammer is in the box, so they've scored a point for passing her too, even though she's not on track. It is called a ghost point, and they're super fun.
So Kira Powell, who is jamming for Dublin, quickly picks up lead jammer status with the help of her teammates.
That's right. Rach Against the Machine, who is jamming for Oxford, is going to try and complete her initial pass now. And the shout comes from the Dublin bench to Kira Powell to call off the jam, as Rach Against the Machine was ready to rejoin the pack, so it was time to cut her off from scoring any points. Another 5 points unanswered to Dublin Roller Derby B, so the total scores at the moment, 14 points to Dublin, 8 points to Oxford. So very quick out of the traps, there is Iguana Thump picking up lead jammer status for Oxford.
Quickly followed by 555, Crash Test Crummy from DRD.
Iguana Thump gets low and tries to juke her way through the pack and calls off the jam on her way through. She did not want Crash Test Crummy to score any points at all. But Crash Test Crummy did score. No, she didn't. Sorry.
She did.
That point went
Did
up.
she?
It just went up and it went back down again. So
Oh, okay.
I think this is one of those situations where I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. We pretty often have that, don't we?
We do our best. So number 11, Flash Dancer for Dublin Roller Derby, wearing that star. She's your jammer. And that is number 1893, Kung Fury for Oxford. A real battle here to get through. First, Kung Fury manages it, but she spots that Flash Dancer has escaped the pack, so forces the call off. So even though Oxford that time did manage to pick up lead jammer status and are really just settling into this game here, Dublin managing to cut them off at the pass and force that call off.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
So much.
I know. Oh, look at that quick feet run on the side. But these skaters don't really give each other an easy time to let the jammers pass.
That's right. We have Alana Cadaver at 047. She spotted a gap down that outside line and she was straight down through there like a shot, picking up lead jammer status. Meanwhile, number 404, who is Wolf for Oxford, forced to recycle behind number 53, RG Bargy, and right into a Dublin wall. She's having some trouble here getting through that pack.
And there we go, a successful start pass on Oxford's side. Their pivot just became the new jammer. She is obviously not lead, but is ready to score.
That is number 24, Celtic Tiger, who has picked up the jammer star and is now your jammer. Dublin, meanwhile, picking up 5 points that time. They passed every single skater, so that is another 5 points on their tally.
Doesn't help if I'm holding my paper upside down.
It's always a little bit more difficult to read when it's upside down.
Yep, I can tell you that. So here we go. In black, we have 101, Kira Powell jamming this time for Dublin.
And number 22, Rach Against the Machine for Oxford Roller Derby, is currently battling against a 3-wall, getting some assistance now.
Kira Powell actually picks up a forearm penalty and now is sitting in the box,
So
serving for that.
And this is a great chance now for Rach Against the Machine, who fantastically pivots down that outside line, does a full 360 around Carnage on 1 foot.
That was actually beautiful.
It was beautiful. Really balletic derby here. Great skating from Rach Against the Machine. She comes around on her second scoring pass. This is a really crucial power jam here for Rach Against the Machine and for Oxford Roller Derby. They have 4 blockers on track. So do Dublin. Rach Against the Machine getting impeded here once more by KT Rex and by Carnage towards the front of the pack. Kira Powell has rejoined. We have 2 jammers on track again. But Rach Against the Machine keeps on racking up those points. Is she going to want to call it off? I don't know.
That is a pretty intense game. Like, hits are flying everywhere, and the agility of the jammers actually really struck me. All of the jammers are really powerful as well as really, really jukey. So the blockers really don't have an easy time to try to stop them passing.
Absolutely. We saw some fantastic skating there from Rach Against the Machine, number 22 for Oxford Roller Derby. That little pivot there on 1 foot is going to stick with me for a while.
That was beautiful. But that's really one of the things I really like about Derby, that even when you're skating on the opposing team, you will appreciate it. A really good move, a really good hit from the opposing team players.
Don't forget, Slips, we're neutral here today up on the mics.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And we have had a score change in that last jam. That power jam really did pay off for Oxford. 25 points now on the board for them, 19 for Dublin. In the meantime, though, Iguana Trump is on her way to the box. And Crash Test Crummy, number 555, has a power jam for Dublin. She's going to try and answer that last jam from Oxford.
So although we do have the eyes on the jammer most of the time because they are kind of skating solo, we must not forget that the jammer is only part of the team. So it's always team effort what the jammer can provide. It's loads of times rely on the help of their blockers. So everybody is just as important piece of the puzzle. And they're doing on both sides a marvelous job.
So Iguana Trump is back on track and trying to make her way through there. Grace Balls of Fire picking up a penalty after a tackle on her. And Crash Test Crummy has gone to the box. So now we have a reverse power jam. The power jam is going Oxford's way. Just 2 Dublin blockers on track. This is a fantastic chance once more for Oxford to extend that lead, currently at 6 points.
Also because our lead jammer has lost her lead jammer status by going in the penalty box. This jam will actually go to the full 2 minutes as the jam normally lasts to. For whatever.
And that jam is now called dead by the officials. Dublin managing to pick up 4 more points there from Crash Test Crummy just at the end there. So during that jam, Oxford scored 10, Dublin scored 9. So Oxford extending their lead once more to 7 points. Currently 35 points to Oxford, 28 points to Dublin Roller Derby B. And we're already almost halfway through this first half. That's so quick. That is 15 minutes and 20 seconds left on that period clock.
Oh, that was another quick run from Oxford jammer to pick up the outside line and get lead jammer status.
That jammer, number 1893, is Kung Fury.
So I did see the number right. I wasn't sure, so I didn't know what to say.
And jamming for Dublin is number 11, Flash Dancer. We are now on the opposite side of the track. Flash Dancer and Kung Fury both stuck in the middle of a very large, kind of agglomerated pack here. Flash Dancer has made her way out, but she was not lead jammer. So she didn't pick up any more points, and it was Kung Fury who was on her scoring pass, who managed to pick up a 3 there before calling that jam. So 10 points now between the teams, 28 points to Dublin Roller Derby B, 38 points to the visitors, Oxford. Alana Cadaver, number 047, is jamming for Dublin. And she is through and picks up a lead jammer status. Number 404, Wolf, is jamming for Oxford. Alana Cadaver rejoining the pack at the back on a scoring pass. She has picked up a penalty. She's on her way to the box. And now Wolf is going to have a chance. Another 30 seconds to try and extend that lead. Very quick and very frantic here. Wolf taking a tumble, forced to recycle. And has decided to come back a little bit further. Group up with her blockers. No, she's at the front there, sorry. She's at the front, there's 3-wall, apologies. A 3-wall of Dublin skaters trying to keep that pack together so that they can keep those hits coming, keep those challenges coming. And bridging way, way, way back to turn 1, Argy Bargy trying to force a long, long recycle.
That's a very
as
long
Wolf
recycle.
is brought back to the pivot line before she's allowed back on track.
That is actually also another strategy that Dublin can use, because they did make the jammer to go back loads, and that actually cuts off precious seconds from their jammer's penalty.
Absolutely, and Alana Cadaver did pick up another penalty, it looks like, when she rejoined the pack, so this is quite a long power jam here for Oxford, but Dublin's blockers just try to force the recycle to really not allow Wolf to capitalize on this power jam. So that was 5-point jam there for Oxford. Their score is now at 43. And this half is speeding to a conclusion as number 22, Rage Against the Machine, is jamming for Oxford. Kira Powell, number 101 for Dublin, is out at turn 1 and through for lead jammer status.
They have a pretty damn hard time to get through those blockers, both of the team jammers.
Absolutely. Rach Against the Machine here is getting some assistance from her teammates where possible, but Dublin are just kind of flowing around her and reforming those walls. I imagine it must be really demoralizing for a jammer when you're just like, I'm almost through. No, there they all are again.
Yeah.
But she's gotten through.
Especially when you go through the majority of the pack and then somebody from the back just gets on behind you while you're trying to get through the last person, and it's just killing your spirit sometimes.
And this time the 5-point jam goes Dublin's way, so 10 points remain between the teams. 33 points for Dublin, 43 points for Oxford. And it looks like number 1008, Iguana Thump, is back lining up for Oxford. And number 555, Crash Test Crummy for Dublin. Crash Test Crummy getting down that inside line very, very quickly to pick up lead jammer status. Miss Fury forcing a recycle for Iguana Thump. No pack is called, so she's got to go back up and rejoin her teammates. But Iguana Thump does have a little bit of a run-up to try and get past. Meanwhile, Crash Test Crummy has made her way through once more for a scoring pass, picking up 5 points, 1 for each skater.
I'm just kind of lost in the action watching these awesome skaters. The strategies and the lineups and the walls, the blockers forming are absolutely brilliant. And they really, really give a hard time for the opposing jammer to get through.
Crash Test Crummy there, picking up another 4 points on her second scoring pass, bringing her total to 9. There's now just 1 point separating the teams. 42 points for Dublin, 43 points for Oxford. A good time for Oxford to call a team timeout, which they have just done. They're going to take a minute, literally 60 seconds, to I guess resettle and get their heads back to try and stop that increase in points there for Dublin.
It's always helpful to have just a little time for themselves to chat about what their goals are, chat about what they're here, to catch their breath and to make sure that they're all in this together and their heads are in the same, thinking the same way. There's only 1 point difference in between the team scores at the moment.
So yeah, just to break up the momentum of the game as well, it is possible to use these team timeouts really, really strategically. So it was a good call. I would have done it if I was a bench coach, which I will never, ever, ever be.
Never say never, cleverly.
I did it once, and it was terrible, and I'm never doing it again.
There always has to be this first, that it's not that good as the rest.
Let's just say I was an okay line manager, but bench coach, no.
You would be a great bench coach. Now, back to the game, because that timeout expired. Flash Dancer is actually heading to the box already for a back block. No, sorry,
it was a forearm
penalty. Yeah. And we have the Oxford jammer, Kong Fury, flying through the tack and getting a little help from his teammates, scoring a Grand Slam.
Grand Slam is 5 points. That's 1 point for every player that is possible to be on the track. So basically, if you're wondering about those ghost points, those extra points, when the jammer's hips pass the first opposition team member, she gets bonus points for every skater who is not currently in play.
Also, if you keep a close eye on the referees, when they send the skater out for a penalty, they actually hand signal what the penalty was. So we're not just making up why the jammer went out in the box. We actually know some of the hand signals.
That's right. That was a 14-point jam there for Oxford. Great jamming from Kung Fury, bringing their score to 57. And Dublin are calling a team timeout as well, so they're going to want to also discuss what's what and try and
Exactly.
basically stop the gallop of Oxford, who have been scoring points more than Dublin have been scoring points, and that's really how you win a game.
Yeah, kind of scores are necessary, and discussing what's what is even more important. In the meantime, while they still have about 10 seconds, we got to mention our volunteers, our NSOs, our non-skating officials, otherwise known as flamingos, and our skating officials, our zebras, our referees, that they actually let this whole game to happen, because if we didn't have the people who look after us and look after our safety and keep the scores and everything, these games would be just a big bunch of women hitting each other randomly.
Some people are into that, but we kind of prefer the sport bit, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of more controlled. So, Alana Kadabra is jamming for Dublin this time and getting out of the pack, picking up lead jammer status.
And number 404, Wolf for Oxford, is getting some assistance. That's Stormy Waters there, who's trying to help her through. A scoring pass completed there by Alana Kadavra. That's 5 points on the board. And Alana Kadavra at the back there, engaging with the Oxford wall. A very quick bridge forms to maintain the pack, but she does manage to make it through and pick up 4 points. Wolf, completing her initial pass, is now eligible to score points, as Alana Kadavra also reaches that back of the pack and forces her way through for another scoring pass. She thinks about calling it off, but on advice from her bench, she decides to continue and try and rack up as many points as possible on this jam, which seems to be a bit of a purple patch for Dublin.
It actually works for Dublin pretty well, because they had 2 blockers in the penalty box, but while playing this game long, they actually allowed those clocks run out, and they had all the skaters out from the box while the blockers were holding Oxford's jammer up not to let her score too much. I actually don't know how many she scored.
So Oxford scored 4 points that jam, but Alana Kadavra and DRD B scored 24 points. A massive jam there for Dublin, with just over 6 minutes left in this half. A lead change as well, 66 points to 61.
And there we go. Kira Powell from 101 actually got lead jammer status after a little bit of confusion on the track. So basically what happened was that Oxford's jammer did a false start, which is by itself is not a penalty, but they have to give yield if they are called on that. And I presume that she did not give the yield, and that's why she got the penalty.
Stormy Waters, meanwhile, forcing Kira Powell, who is your lead jammer, to recycle and slowing her down just a little bit. She does manage to get her second scoring pass there and put 5 more points on the board. So we now have a full complement of blockers for Oxford on track and for Dublin, so 8 blockers total, as Iguana Thump has completed her penalty and is now on track. And that is her initial pass. Kira Powell right behind her spots that she's through and eligible for points and decides the safest thing to do is call off that jam. So that is 14 points now for Dublin and a total of 80 to Oxford's 61. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left on the period clock.
And there we go. Rage Against the Machine is jamming for Oxford, and 555 Crash Test Crummy is going to be jamming for Dublin, but it's been called an official timeout. And I got to call out for another set of volunteers who helped this game to come alive. And those are the people who helped set us the track and track monkeying at this current time.
Ninja, not monkey.
Track
Ninja.
ninjas. We have to give them a big round of applause because they are doing an amazingly insane job. I've done it myself, and it's really hard. You have to keep the track as intact as possible so we can make sure that, you know, when the skaters are pushing each other out, they come back the right way, because if they take the track line with them, it's a little bit harder to judge.
One of these days, there'll just be a permanent track. I still dream of it sometimes.
One of these days, all the teams in roller derby will have their own venue with a set track. All dreams.
So Crash Test Crummy has made it out of the pack, but she did pick up a track cut, so she's in the box. This is a great chance now for Oxford, but it looks like their jammer is also in the box. So when this happens, when two jammers get sent to the box, the first jammer scores or has to serve her time until the second jammer sits down. The second jammer then serves an equal amount of time to the first jammer. So both jammers have already served their whatever that was, 2 seconds, and they're back out, and this jam is going to go for the full 2 minutes. Neither of them can be lead jammer, neither of them can call off the jam.
And that means this jam will run for the 2 minutes as well. So the jammers actually have to pick up their feet to score as many points as they can, because time works against them, because both of the jammers are as quick as the other. It's all down to the blockers, how much they can prevent the other jammer to get through.
And then we just saw some more amazingly balletic and agile skating there from Rach against the machine. She pirouetted around again to try and get through. She has, however, been forced to recycle. Meanwhile, Crash Test Crummy is having some difficulty because there's 4 very solid Oxford blockers there, not letting her through.
It's so funny because I'm skating, I actually feel like when I'm watching a certain movement, I'm doing it. All right, so we're going to go to an official timeout at the moment. And we do have to mention that that is why we have EMTs here all the time. Unfortunately, injuries do happen, and we really do hope that it's nothing too serious. And yeah, we're just going to see what's... Oh, she's skating off, so we should be fine. Perfect. I never know what to say in these situations. I try.
So our injured skaters are going to get checked out by our meds, and we are going to continue our game. We have just under 3 minutes to play in this first half. Current score, 86 points to Dublin Roller Derby, 65 points to Oxford.
And we have Flash Dancer lining up in black behind the jam line against Conk Fury in blue.
And Kung Fury cut through that pack like
Quick
a hot
feet.
lightsaber through a tauntaun. She is out of there before she even hits the pivot line and picks up lead jammer status for Oxford Roller Derby. She's going to try and pull back some more points. She's already through and completed her scoring pass. Very, very fast skating here from Kung Fury, number 1893. She's picked up 5 points already, and she is back for more.
And she calls it off just a second before Flash Dancer could actually score a point. She already hit the back of the skater's wall from Oxford, but she couldn't score any. Now we actually have both pivots in the box at the moment. And we have Alana Kadavra lining up for Dublin.
And that is Iguana Thump for Oxford. Alana Kadavra, though, is out of that pack first, picking up lead jammer status. It's kind of a light pack right now, a 6-pack, 3 opposite 3. Alana Cadaver, 2 blockers to beat at the front there.
And she's actually out of the pack while Oxford's Gemmer is actually still sitting in the box.
Another scoring pass there from Alana Cadaver, bringing her total to 10. As she works to take advantage of that power jam. B.A. Douglas there trying to bridge that gap between the Dublin blockers and the Oxford blockers as each work to curtail their jammer. Alana Cadaver, though, is through again. Another 5 points on the board for her as Iguana Thump completes her initial pass.
But that was actually a beautiful screen from the Oxford players. They hugged around the Dublin blockers that let a clear corridor for Iguana to get through the pack and complete her initial.
So Dublin, just on the cusp of half-time, have broken the century. That was an 18-point jam there from Alana Cadaver, and they are now at 104 points to Oxford's 71. The officials have decided there isn't time to run another jam, so we've called the halftime whistle. So we have 15 minutes or thereabouts now. We would like to invite you to check out the fabulous prizes available on our raffle.
Oh,
And
have you seen that gingerbread house? Oh my God.
You also got to check out the
Oh,
gingerbread house.
God.
It's amazing.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So please do support as much as you can. Buy some delicious baked goods. And we will be back here in 14 minutes and 30 seconds for the second half of this awesome game.
Just a quick note on that gingerbread house. You don't have to actually just check it out. You can actually win it if you buy a raffle ticket. So I would highly recommend to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're getting a flight home with Oxford, then maybe
Well, you can eat it tomorrow.
you can eat it tomorrow. That's true.
Yeah.
You would be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we are going to crank up the tunes for the next while, and we'll see you back here very shortly.
Ooh, second half of this game. How exciting. Well, I've seen games turn over from bigger point difference than this is. So I think the most exciting parts might be just yet to come. Now here we go. Alana Kadavra picks up lead gemmer status for Dublin Roller Derby wearing black. And the Oxford gemmer number 22, Rage Against the Machine, is following her close by. Now Alana Kadavra calls the gem off and picks up 4 points. But Rage Against the Machine actually sneaks through the pack and picks up 3, but it's still 1 more for DRD. And we have Kira Powell wearing black and the star behind the jam line, and Iguana Thump, number 1008 for Oxford. Now that's a quick check. Oh, those are quick feet. Beautiful. Beautiful quick feet from Iguana Thumb picking up lead gemmer status. And there goes Kira Powell. Iguana Thumb just calls off the gem before Kira Powell can actually reach the pack to score any points. We have a little bit of a pack advantage to Oxford this time. They have 1 blocker in the box and Dublin has 3. But we've seen magic happen on track from both teams, actually. That's a quick fixing of the pivot line there from our beautiful track ninja.
Sorry, everyone, I'm here now. I just got distracted by hot chocolate.
And the beautiful vegan croissant they have outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yum. You know what? They're good, but they're not as good as the home-baked cookies on our cake stand.
Wolf, number 404, is through and picks up lead jammer status for Oxford. Crash Test Crummy still has 3 blockers to beat here, so Wolf is going to really try and get it through and score some more points, reduce that deficit.
And Crash Test Crummy at the moment has the star helmet cover in her hand. That does not necessarily mean that she's going to pass it. Unfortunately, she gets a cut track penalty and goes into the box. This is a great opportunity for Oxford to pick up and just reduce that point difference between themselves and Dublin.
That's right. It's already a 10-point jam here for Wolf, and she's on her next scoring pass.
Sometimes I feel like we're still too close to the track.
Oh, it's good to have your heart beat faster every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wolf finally through past the last blocker there. Another scoring pass. 4 more on the board there for Wolf. 1 point was not awarded due to not a complete pass there. No pass, no penalty. So 4 more on the board there. She's going to keep on trucking. Katie Rex this time forcing the recycle. Wolf has another run up at the pack here. Crash Test Crummy, meanwhile, has been released. Wolf takes a look around, sees where she's coming from, and calls the jam.
What I really, really like from both teams, if you look at it, if they are doing kind of solo stuff, so they're on their own, blocking the jammers, there's always somebody coming in their aid. So there's always buddying up, there's always partnering. And this is what it's all about. It's team effort. You can't really go so far on your own. You have to do it together.
You got to have your backup.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, that jam brought the total for Oxford to 92. Kung Fury is right out of the pack straight away. Lead jammer status once more for Oxford. This is a fantastic start for them to this second half. 92 points on the board for them, 108 for Dublin Roller Derby B, as Kung Fury whooshes her way through that pack. She just she goes through the middle. She's not trying to find a gap. She just makes some room for herself. She goes through and picks up 5 more points.
Why Flash Dancer actually fighted as much as she could to get through the pack. She took the hammock cover off and gave it to her pivot, Katie Rex. And afterwards, unfortunately, picks up a penalty, sits in the box, and the Oxford Jammer did not give a chance to Katie Rex to score any points. She calls off the jam.
So again, 2 very solid jams here, back to back from Oxford. They're going to try and keep this momentum. I mean, if they do this again, one more jam, we could have once more a lead change. So Dublin are going to try and slow that down once more and try and kind of impede the momentum, I guess. Number 047, Alana Cadavra, lining up on the jam line for Dublin. And once more, it's a reach against the machine for Oxford. She's been really, really crucial for them in a number of jams over this game so far. Watch out for her fancy footwork. She's like ballet on skates. Meanwhile, Alana Cadavra is out first and does have lead jammer status. She does have the advantage and is able to call off this jam at any time, unless she picks up a penalty.
Oh, don't jinx it now. We always do that and then we jinx it. No, don't. We didn't say that. And there we go. Dublin just pushed Rage Against the Machine out of track, and they are bridging her back while Alana Cadavra actually picked up a penalty.
That wasn't my fault.
I told you. Oh, my God.
So Rage Against the Machine now in an ideal position. She has a power jam. She has 30 seconds unopposed. And this is a chance for her to take the lead back to Oxford.
But see,
Dublin,
this is what I actually told you about, that one jammer is blocking them while the others come from behind and line up in front of them. That actually can break the jammer spirit hard, because they want to get out so badly, and it's the last blocker, and they can push through, and no, there's others.
So there was a multiplayer block called there on, I think that was Nasher. So Rage Against the Machine was forced back to recycle. Alana Cadavra has rejoined. So at the moment there is 5 points for Oxford on this jam, 4 points for Dublin. It's a real free-for-all. And as the jam comes to its natural conclusion, the officials call it dead. And it looks like 3 more points apiece on that second scoring pass. So 8 points for Oxford that jam, 7 points for Dublin. So bit by bit, they're chipping away at that lead.
We might be looking at a team timeout from Dublin later on. I'd say they might want to get a regrouping, a catch up breath, just to.
But they do what they want.
Going.
We can't tell them what to do.
We don't tell them. I'm just, I'm not saying anything cleverly. Do you know the lottery numbers by any chance? Because that's it. 101, Dublin's jammer, Kira Powell, just picked up a penalty. Pretty much 10 seconds in the jam. In the meantime,
that is Iguana Thump, who is completed a scoring pass there for Oxford, picking up 5 points. And there is now just 1 point between the teams. Iguana Thump taking a tumble there. She's
that was
back
an artistic fall.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
And eventually stays up and completes that scoring pass. It is now a lead change. Oxford are ahead. Kira Powell has made it out of the box again and is on her initial pass. Iguana Thump has rejoined and is on a scoring pass.
And Kira Powell completes her initial pass. Meanwhile, it's pretty aggressive in the pack. I have to say that skaters get hit and give hits all over the place, and it's just amazing to watch because it seems like it's a big chaos, but I'd say they are pretty much in control of every move what they do. Well, most of them.
Absolutely. It is definitely no holds barred at the moment. Each of these teams determined to maintain a lead. Oxford now have 7 points on DRD. And Crash Test Crummy, number 555, jamming for Dublin. Kung Fury once more down that inside line for Oxford, picking up lead jammer status. So again, advantage, both pack advantage and jammer advantage are with Oxford this jam. As Kung Fury does pick up a track cut.
Because basically what happens when you're being pushed out from the track, you have to get behind everybody that was in front of you at the moment of being pushed out. Now, if the person who pushed you goes out with you, you don't have to come back behind them. You can go in front of them. But she probably didn't see somebody that was in front of them. In the meantime, Crash Test Crummy is skating around with the help of her blockers. She picks up the points for a Dublin roller derby, the much needed points.
So again, she's going into this scoring pass with 2 points behind. This is another chance for a lead change. Crash Test Crummy, however, looks like she picked up a track cut, so there's going to be no lead change this time. Kung Fury has rejoined, and she has worked her way through once more to the front of the pack. That's another 5 points on the board for Oxford. So the lead once more extended to 7 points.
That's just a little calm before the storm, I guess, on the track, just before the jammer, the solo jammer, enters the pack from behind. It's very important also that the opposing team skaters, the blockers, stay within 10 feet of each other. That creates the pack. So if you see the head ref putting up his hands like that, calling no pack, that means that the skaters went too far away from each other, and they have to make sure that they maintain that distance. Otherwise, any move that they do becomes illegal.
Any challenge?
Yeah.
Any contact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? What did I say? Any move that they do? Well, yeah.
So we have 123 points for Dublin, 136 to Oxford, 13 points separating the teams. And that is Flash Dancer number 11 out for Dublin, picking up lead jammer status. It looks like we have number 44, Wolf, who is a lead jammer for Oxford, who has attempted a scoring pass there to team captain Celtic Tiger.
There is an actual star pass happened on Oxford's side, but as soon as the helmet cover comes off the jammer's head, the other team's blockers are actually prepared to block the pivot as well to make sure that when the star pass, or if the star pass happens, they already have that under control as well.
So a very important jam there from Dublin. They are back within 5 points of Oxford. Their points are now 131 points to 136. 16 and a half minutes left in the second half. It's going to be a non-stop thrill ride all the way home.
Oh my God, it's so exciting! Now we have Alana Cadavra jamming for Dublin in black. And Rage Against the Machine, I knew that. For Oxford, Alana Cadavra picks up lead jammer status.
Alana Cadavra now engaging for that scoring pass. Another star pass here from Oxford, and that is Rage Against the Machine passing that star to number 15, Apocalypse, That's the first time we've spotted her wearing the star so far. She wasn't able to do much with it as the jam was called off.
Some late seconds penalty being called off on 1 or 2 blockers, but we don't mind that. Everybody do their mistakes, but they serve their time and then they come off of the box and they do their absolute best to keep us entertained as well as to keep to try to make their teams win.
Iguana Thump number 1008, skating as jammer for Oxford, has already passed the star as far as I can see. Nope, she's still wearing that star. And Ciara Powell for Dublin has picked up points. Keep an eye on that scoreboard. That is a 1-point lead change. Woohoo! Dublin now holding the lead by 1 point. But it looks like Oxford are going to have a query about something that's happened there, and they are going to...
A team timeout.
Oh no, they've called a team timeout.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Guys, this is such an exciting game. This is the 3rd lead change we have so far in this game.
At least the 3rd one.
And we still have 14 minutes, 33 seconds where anything can happen. Just plain amazing to watch this game, honestly. Oh, so good. And whoever is kind of new to Derby or started fresh meat or in the rookie position, I could not recommend watching Derby enough because you can learn and improve without being on skates. Just watching, even if you pick just one skater out of a whole team and you keep watching their every move and you rewind it and you watch it again and again and again, you can actually improve your sights and your vision and your Derby brain pretty much while you're watching Derby.
So Crash Test Crummy very quick off the mark there, but it looks like she stepped out of bounds and forced to recycle. 404 Wolf though taking advantage of that. Crash Test Crummy has picked up lead jammer status as she got to the front there though. Wolf not your lead jammer. So we're going to have a bit of a race here.
Just weird. Yeah, Dublin actually decided to let this gem run, although their lead jammer was a little bit behind the Oxford jammer, but it paid off to play this game because Crash Test Crummy actually gets out of the pack and puts 4 more points on Dublin's scoreboard.
Pack advantage, though, definitely on Oxford's side. There are 4 Oxford blockers on track. They're making life difficult for Crash Test Crummy as Wolf gets out of that pack on a scoring pass and picks up 4 more points there for Oxford.
You know what?
4 more on the board there for Dublin as well, though.
But this is probably the reason why Dublin lets it run a little bit long. They want to get all of their blockers out of the box before the jam ends.
It's all very strategic here as another pair of scoring passes completed here. So Crash Test Crummy has completed 1 more scoring pass. Now make that 2 more scoring passes than Wolf. So she is in a position here to extend that Dublin lead. Wolf now forced to recycle as Crash Test Crummy continues.
And the jam actually comes to a natural conclusion because the 2 minutes on the clock expired.
So Dublin managed to score 10 points more than Oxford in that jam. 12 for Oxford, bringing their total to 148. And 22 to Dublin, that's 159. So there's now 11 points between the teams.
Just one technical announcement. because we just a little bit over 10 minutes to go from this game, and we're not going to have a second game today. I would like to ask anybody who usually is here to help us to pack away the stuff. We are not to take the track off because Limerick is actually playing Oxford here tomorrow, and they need the track to be staying on the ground. So we are not taking the track off the ground today.
But there's much more exciting things happening on track here as Flash Dancer has made her way out of the pack, and completed a scoring pass. Kung Fury, though, is now completed a scoring pass as well. It looks like Dublin's strategy seems to be to just keep things moving.
Did you say something about the penalties before? Oh no, it was the Gemmers, wasn't it? I don't know. Every time we talk about the penalties, we just seem to jinx the box. And there we go. Flash Dancer calls off the jam just after her third blocker is out from the box. They still have one more in the box, but she should be out shortly anyways.
That's right. We have had no difference in the score difference here. So each jammer scored 8 points in that last jam. 167 to Dublin, 156 to Oxford. So still a very tight, very close game. Just 11 points. That's like maybe three scoring passes on a power jam.
Yeah.
That'll change the texture of the game completely.
Well, like even on a normal gem, when you still have the other gemmer on, you can have it within 3. Or you can have one normal and one eat the baby, a 6-point jam. I would love to see it.
You are
Insane?
I don't know. I don't think you're insane. I think you know.
A 6-point jam
Is possible,
is possible.
but very rare.
Very, very rare.
A 6-point jam is like a 4-leaf shamrock.
So basically, the gemmer laps the other gemmer twice. And that's how a 6-point jam occurs. Just look it up on YouTube. There are great videos explaining it. I can't, really. It's just awesome.
If it happens today now, I'm buying you a pint because that's some amazing jinxing.
So I would like to ask one of the gemmers to please score or lap the other gemmer twice.
So
I can have a 3 points.
Elana Cadavra, number 047, is out of the pack like a shot there for Dublin, picking up lead jammer status. Iguana Thump is jamming for Oxford.
Unfortunately, she commits a back block penalty on one of the Oxford skaters, and she goes in the penalty box for it.
So this is massive for Oxford. They have a power jam, and they have a real chance here to create another lead change as Iguana Thump works her way through for another scoring pass. She scored 10 points already so far this jam, and she's going to keep going. She needs one more point to effect a lead change as she engages at the back of the pack here.
That happens some of the times, you know, when you kind of so intensely in the game, you accidentally block your own gemmer. But look at her go. She came back from the box and flew through the pack pretty quickly.
That's right. That's Elana Cadavra, who has rejoined the pack from the box and completed a scoring pass. So it's now 5 points once more between the teams as far as I can tell. As Elana Cadavra continues, no, that's 166 points for Oxford, 175 for Dublin. And Elana Cadavra makes it through again. Iguana Thump forced once more to recycle around that main apex, and she's being pushed back and back and back.
Okay, so Elana Cadavra is back in the box for, as far as I know, a cut-track penalty.
So
but
that jam,
I was not sure.
that all got a bit crazy in there. So another 5 points there on the board for Oxford. So they pulled back another 2 at the end of that jam, down to 9 points. think we might be having a bit of a review here as the refs
official
are
review of
gathering
the game.
in a huddle with captains, etc.
Gathering in a huddle.
Well, it is a huddle. It's really cold. You got to huddle together for warmth.
True. I should get used to this word now that I'm here in Ireland for over 9 years now. It's a huddle.
I think the actual word is it's a huddle.
All
a ref huddle.
right.
Yeah.
So I learned 2 new words today. The first one,
There's a lot more where that came from.
unopposed, and the huddle. So, my dictionary expands like mad.
You should bring a little notebook to the next one.
I know, I
got
really
some
should.
good words.
But you know, the good thing is that this game is going to be recorded. I can ask for them for the voice audio thing and then just write down my new words and put it in a little dictionary and sit down and learn them.
I have a pro tip for you. Never listen to your own voice recorded.
Okay.
It's just upsetting. It's just upsetting. I worked in radio for years, and I would never listen to myself back again. It's just like, who is this weird lady with the weird voice?
The
I
good
don't
thing
want to
is,
listen
Cleverly,
anymore.
that we love to listen to your voice. And she's a great singer as well. Did you know it, guys? She's an amazing singer.
That's true. My new album drops. That is not true.
Okay.
I want to do a quick call out as well. I want
Tell
to
me.
give another shout out once more to all our newbies, but I want to give an extra special shout out to Dom, who's here for the first time and is awesome. So, Duracell is a big fan of your work, so
for new
asked us
people
to say hey.
For the new people in the audience who don't know what a shout out is, usually
Yes, they
it's
do. No, they know.
followed by an applause and a cheer. So we're gonna give a shout out to who was it, Dom?
Yeah.
Whose first time is here. So big shout out to Dom! Yay! Now there we go. We have an awesome audience today. Did you know that?
I had noticed, indeed.
There's one little question we did not ask. Oh, we went straight from official review to an official timeout. So I have time to ask it. Who is here to support Oxford? Yay! Oh, look at them go. And who is here to support Dublin? Okay, well, it's their home game, so it's a little bit of advantage. But we have to thank Oxford to fly all the way to Dublin and then come out to Greystones to play with us, because that's an amazing thing to do, and we love to have other people from around the world to play us.
So we're back on Derbyland. And we have another power jam here for Oxford. Rage Against the Machine is starting this jam. Alana Cadavra started in the box. She went to the penalty box at the end of the last jam. So this scoring pass here by Rage Against the Machine, a grand slam of 5 points on the board, 4 points between the teams. And oh no, Alana Cadavra has picked up another track cut. So this is a great chance here for Oxford, and Rage Against the Machine with just under 8 minutes left on the clock to try and try and try again to pull that lead back. And yes, they have done it. It is another lead change. 181 points to Oxford, 108 to DRD, as Rage Against the Machine is taken out by Katie Rex on the apex. Forced to recycle, and she's going to try and build up another scoring pass here. Alana Cadavra still in the box as she is working her way through. Dublin's blockers, though, forcing her back, but it's just Peppy Nefrin left on the track. One blocker is not enough to stop a jammer as she works her way through another 5 points. She's extended that lead once more. Alana Cadavra is out of the box. I am not breathing until this jam is over. I'm going to keep going. Alana Cadavra is out. She has completed her scoring pass as Rage Against the Machine continues. Another 4 points here. That is a 19-point jam for Rage Against the Machine as that jam is called dead.
And she really did not breathe. That's impressive.
It was an exciting jam. They are now.
Did you see her getting excited? It was such an exciting jam.
10 points ahead now for Oxford. That was crucial.
That was amazing and much, much needed for the team in blue. Did you actually breathe?
But it made sentences though.
Yes.
Okay.
Will you just stop?
I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to. Well, not all the time.
Yeah, but like not as fast
people who are announcing like the races, but like continuously speak and kind of make sense.
We actually have to go. You know what? We should go to Toastmasters.
I don't know if they'd let me in.
Oh, they would. Well, you have to pay, so they will let you in for the $5 they get from you. So.
Okay, so we have a team timeout now for Dublin.
Did you have to gather their thoughts and catch their breath after this jam, I'd say?
That was, yeah, you're going to need to you'd be reeling from a jam like that, I think.
I know a word for that. That was epic.
Yep, that was an epic jam. 100% epicness guaranteed.
And we have a little jam timer from the stands as well. I just heard 5 seconds called behind me.
I believe that's Katie Rex's daughter.
That is Katie Rex's daughter. She's definitely future generation derby player, and she's going to be just as awesome as everybody else pretty much in this game.
I know that AK Alana is on her 6th penalty, so she has one more, then she's out. So I'm not sure if they're going to play her anymore because they can't really afford a jammer to fall off in the middle of the game.
Ooh, very tense. And the whistle goes off. Kira Powell is jamming in black, and we have Kong Fury jamming in blue. Oh my God, that's intense.
Kira Powell does manage to pick up lead jammer status, but we've had 2 Oxford blockers in the box, 3 Dublin blockers 4 Dublin blockers, 3 Dublin blockers on track.
That's the way they have to do it now. Quick, sharp jams, getting lead jammer, score all the points and don't let them score any. This is the only way they can catch up now because there's still 6 points difference and only 5.5 minutes. Still a little bit over 5.5 minutes left.
So blocker advantage again with Dublin, 4 blockers on track, 2 for Oxford. As once more, Wolf, number 404, lines up for Oxford. And Crash Test Crummy is out of the pack like a shot once more for Dublin Roller Derby B. Again, this is a 6-point game. That's 1 and a bit scoring passes. So this is a great shot here for Dublin as Crash Test Crummy tiptoes down that inside line, picking up 4 more points and turning it into a 2-point game. Wolf, however, has also completed a scoring pass. Drawing it back, that's another scoring pass for Crash Test Crummy. She's going to try, I think. She's going to just keep going.
She is going to. She got the instructions from the bench that she has to keep going because they want to push it. And the bench coach actually seems to have the trust in their blockers to keep the Oxford Jammer back far enough to make sure that Crash Test Crummy can score the points.
Crash Test Crummy almost stumbling on her way around that outside line there.
God, my chest is beating in my neck.
Points. As Wolf also picks up another 4 points here. 12 points apiece so far this jam. It is still a 6-point game. Crash Test Crummy, however, is on her way to the box for a 4-arm penalty. Power jam for Oxford Roller Derby, and Wolf is going to try and take full advantage of it. Is she getting tired though as the game comes to its closing stages? I don't know. It's all things to be factored in. She may decide to call it and reset. She may decide to just keep on trucking.
They really have to utilize the help of their blockers now as Oxford Jammer is trying to get through the blockers of Dublin Roller Derby, and she pushes and pushes and doesn't really seem to move.
That's right, Peppy Nefrin staying in position to keep that pack together. That was, again, quite epic.
And there we go. It turns out to be a 13-point difference with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left on the clock.
That's right, Oxford scoring a 21-point jam this time. 14 points for Dublin. Oxford deciding they are going to go into this last few minutes with a team timeout. So they're going to reset and they are going to, I don't know, plan their final assault, I guess.
That sounds really evil, you know. But yeah, I guess we do all have a little bit of evil in us when we're playing a game against somebody else. But
Well,
as long as it comes out in a good way and a legal way and a safe way, it's all right.
I didn't mean assault like crime. I meant like strategic assault.
No, sorry. It's only 2 words a day I can take. So assault in my dictionaries, they're going to say it as the crime kind of.
Okay, but that is
Phrase.
not what I was talking about at all, for the record, okay? I meant it like Napoleon,
I did.
not like some guy in a nightclub.
Ooh, one more thing.
So we are going to be drawing the raffle immediately after the game. If you have not purchased your raffle tickets, we'll give you a couple of minutes at the end to do so. We got some great prizes, including a beautiful gingerbread house.
I know that everybody wants to run off and buy their raffle tickets right now. You have to wait until the pack and the referees pass by. So we're going to give you 5 minutes after the game ended to buy some raffle tickets, okay?
So Flash Dancer jamming for Dublin, Rage Against the Machine jamming for Oxford. Rage Against the Machine is out first and picks up lead jammer status. Blocker Apocalypse on her way to the box. She's the only blocker there right now.
You know that Flash Dancer is actually a dancer, and she's the most flexible person I ever saw in my life.
So
It's
4
ridiculous.
points on the board there for Rage Against the Machine. She has a quick confabulation with the bench and decides to call off and have another run at another jam.
Yeah, you know what? DRD actually did have a 24-point jam. So if they can pull up a 28-point jam.
No, there's 17 points there.
Oh, 17. Sorry, I can't count. See? My brain space is all taken
I'm
up
gonna
by
teach you
learning that
maths
2
as
words.
well as English.
Yeah, I'm really suck at math.
So Alana Kadavra is back on track again, jamming for Dublin.
And she has to give it all because now pretty much winning or losing depends on it.
Iguana Thump is jamming for Oxford, but Alana Kadavra is just absolutely going for it at this point. She's through and picks up lead jammer status for Dublin. She's now engaging with that pack on a scoring pass. Iguana Thump going for the star stash to help her get through that pack. The packs are now very, very slowed down as Iguana Thump is at the back of the pack. And the Dublin blockers trying to hold her. She's getting some help here from her own blockers as they try and disrupt that defense.
Well, Oxford, as soon as they lost Alana Kadavra after her scoring pass, immediately went back to help their jammer. But then they had to line up again to prevent Alana to get through. But she did anyway.
Alana Kadavra finished her second scoring pass. She's coming through for her third. Dublin blockers are doing a phenomenal job here of holding back Iguana Thump. The Iguana Thump, 3 points now between the teams as Alana Kadavra works it again and works her way through for a scoring pass. Is she going to try and make her way through once more?
Oh
That's
my God,
another scoring pass there. And that looks like another lead change. We still have skaters on track here. We still have, it looks like a star pass for Oxford as Alana Kadavra
And
and the last gasp effort here pulls off a 24-point jam just as the whistle
collapse
goes
in the
dead.
meantime. Thankfully, the gingerbread house is intact, but it was such an epic jam that the cake stand actually collapsed.
It was very exciting, I'm not going to lie.
Oh my
I hope all
God!
of your heartbeats are okay. Unofficial final score, 215 points to Oxford, 222 points to Dublin Roller Derby. That
Okay,
was
guys,
epic.
this was epic. What a finish of a game. This was just like, wow. I mean, like, wow.
I think Oxford Roller Derby will be disappointed with that result, but they played their skins off. Absolutely fantastic skating from them. It was such a close game. Lead changes back and forth.
You know what? In my eyes, whichever team won, like, both of the teams deserved to win because both of the teams delivered their absolute best. It was a really entertaining and exciting game to watch.
Absolutely, and it was anybody's game all day as the leads went back and
All
forth.
the way.
Fantastic,
Absolutely.
fantastic work. Oxford are going to have another chance tomorrow to show what they're made of as they take on Limerick Roller Derby. Same bat time, same bat channel.
That was epic. Now we would like to ask our awesome audience to line up on the inside line to make sure that we can high five and cheer both of the teams. There we go.
And that score is now
Final
official. Slight change here. 3 points at the end there between the teams. 219 to Oxford, 222 to Dublin Roller Derby. I invite you all to come down and high five those teams if ever two teams deserved it. It is these two teams. And immediately afterwards, don't forget, we will be drawing the raffle prizes.
Raffle. So you will have literally 2 minutes after the high fives to get your raffle ticket.